What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Let's dive into our first news. Dominic Reyes has finally spoken after his tough loss at UFC Perth. Last night in the very first round, Carlos Olberg delivered a brutal knockout against Reyes. Just hours later, Dominic Reyes posted a message to his Instagram story, showing nothing but class in defeat. He wrote, "Congratulations to Carlos. Just wasn't my night. God is good always." It was a short but powerful statement, proving once again that Reyes carries himself with respect inside and outside of the octagon. On the other side, Carlos Olberg didn't waste any time making his next move known. After that impressive finish, he immediately set his eyes on something bigger. Olberg confirmed that he'll be attending UFC 320, and he's hoping to serve as the backup fighter for the light heavyweight title fight between Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira. Speaking inside the cage after his win, Olberg revealed the conversation he had with UFC matchmaker Hunter Campbell. He said he asked to be flown out to Las Vegas, and Hunter agreed without hesitation. That was all Olberg needed. He made it clear that he doesn't just want to show up, he wants to be the official backup in case anything happens to the headliners. Olberg's ambition is crystal clear. He explained that he wants to break records and make history in the UFC. According to him, no one has ever fought one weekend and then turned around to fight for a title the very next weekend. He truly believes he can be the first to accomplish that. With momentum on his side after finishing Reyes, Olberg said he feels ready to step into the biggest spotlight of his career if the opportunity comes. He added that regardless of who he faces, the stakes are massive. A fight against Alex Pereira, one of the most popular fighters in the sport today, would be historic. Pereira has a huge following, and competing against him alone would be special. But Olberg didn't stop there. He also mentioned Ankalaev, highlighting the dominance he has shown inside the cage. Since Ankalaev already has a win over Pereira, defeating him would prove to the world that Olberg is truly at the very top of the division. Olberg made it clear that he wants to be tested against the very best. His mindset is simple. If you want to be the man, you have to beat the man. He strongly believes that right now, he is that man, even without holding a UFC title. His confidence is undeniable, and his hunger to prove himself in front of the world is driving him forward. Whether it's Pereira or Ankalaev, Olberg is ready to step in and show that no one can touch him when it matters the most. For now, Dominic Reyes takes time to recover from another tough setback in his career, while Carlos Olberg is already preparing for what could be the biggest moment of his life. The light heavyweight division just got a lot more interesting with Olberg's bold statement and determination to be next in line. Before moving to the next news, we have one quick request for you. We are constantly working on improving our content to earn your love and support. That is why we truly appreciate it. If you could take just a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update here on MMA Pulse News. Moving on to another news, Darren Till shared a surprising moment online when he posted footage of himself FaceTiming with Conor. The two fighters exchanged a few words in a lighthearted chat that quickly caught fans' attention. Till opened the call with excitement, asking Conor what was happening. Conor responded casually, saying, "Oh, are we? I'm in Colo, lad. I'm in Colombia." The energy between the two was easygoing, as they both laughed and joked during the short exchange. Darren, with his usual playful tone, quickly asked what Conor was doing in Mexico. Conor, staying cool as ever, replied, "I'm on job, mate. Don't worry about it." The short clip went viral almost instantly, as fans loved seeing the banter between the two. Till's personality has always been entertaining, and adding Conor to the mix made the moment even more memorable. Both men appeared to be in good spirits, giving fans a rare glimpse of their off-fight personalities. Though brief, the video spread quickly across social media, proving that even a simple FaceTime between fighters like Darren Till and Conor can grab massive attention and keep the MMA world buzzing. Moving on to another news, Renato Moicano and Gilbert Burns have shared their thoughts on the recent situation involving Charles Oliveira and his decision-making around fighting Mateusz Gamrot on short notice. Both fighters believe that Oliveira's initial hesitation may not have been about fear or preparation, but more of a negotiation tactic. According to them, it looks like Charles managed to secure a bigger paycheck before agreeing to face Gamrot. Moicano explained that taking a fight with only 2 weeks' notice against someone like Gamrot is never easy. Gamrot is always in shape, always training, and ready for moments like this. Still, Moicano strongly believes that Oliveira's "I don't want to fight right now" stance was more of a way to push the UFC for extra money. He put it simply, "Hey, throw me more money and I will take it." Burns jumped in and agreed completely, saying he thinks Charles got paid much more to make that fight happen. For him, it was almost certain, maybe not 1000%, but enough to believe Charles ended up with a bigger payday. They also discussed how badly Oliveira wanted the fight against Benoit Saint-Denis. Burns pointed out that Charles definitely wanted it, but the situation played out differently. The question was raised about why Benoit even spoke up weeks ago, saying if someone dropped out, he'd be ready to step in. But when the opportunity actually came, he didn't take the fight. Moicano answered quickly, saying it was all for the hype. He compared it to himself, admitting that sometimes fighters say things just to bring views and attention. Still, Moicano acknowledged that Charles was right when he said most fighters talk for the hype, while Gamrot was the only one really about it. For Moicano, the reality is that when a big fight opportunity shows up, you want to take it. He even admitted, "Imagine if I beat Charles in Brazil, I'd be a superstar." But at the same time, he was honest about why fighters sometimes turn it down. He said he wasn't ready at that moment. He was dealing with a small injury, he hadn't been training fully, and he even got a little sick. With only 2 weeks' notice, it wouldn't be real preparation, just cutting weight and showing up underprepared, especially for a 5-round fight. Moicano admitted that in his last fight he got tired, and he hadn't had enough time to fix the issues in his training. Between producing content on his Brazilian channel and staying busy, he couldn't fully focus. He explained that once a fight is official, he shuts everything down and commits 100%. But at that moment, he wasn't in the right place to accept such a huge challenge. For Moicano, it's not about avoiding risk forever. He said clearly that he'll take risks in the future, even in tough matchups, but he wants to be prepared. For now, Burns and Moicano agree that Oliveira's decision worked out in his favor, securing him more money and keeping the fight alive against Gamrot. Moving on to another news, Jon Anik has made a bold statement that has the MMA world buzzing. He believes Merab is currently the biggest active UFC star in America. Anik said with full confidence that right now, Merab stands as the biggest MMA superstar in the United States among fighters who are still competing. And when you break it down, it's hard to disagree. According to Anik, Merab has built an impressive presence that goes far beyond the octagon. His social media is consistently entertaining, mixing humor with thoughtful and insightful content. Everything he puts out feels genuine, and fans love it. Add to that his relentless fighting style, and it's no surprise that he has captured the attention of both hardcore MMA fans and casual viewers. Anik pointed out how Merab's training footage with legends like Demetrius Johnson has been phenomenal to watch, showcasing not just skill, but also passion. Seeing those guys roll together and enjoy the grind has been inspiring. Anik highlighted that Merab is living what he called the American dream. He's someone who absolutely loves fighting, and that joy is obvious every time he steps inside the cage. Unlike fighters who sometimes maneuver their way up simply for money or opportunity, Merab's intentions are pure. He fights because he loves it, and he always will. Anik explained that when you love what you're doing this much, you become immune to the pressure, the chaos, and all the outside noise. For Merab, this sport isn't a burden, it's his passion. He also emphasized that with every single win, Merab keeps getting better, stronger, and more popular. It's not just about his record, but also about the growth in his confidence and the way fans rally behind him. There's a saying in MMA that when a fighter gets the belt, they naturally improve by a certain percentage. Anik believes that this has been crystal clear with Merab. Since reaching the top level, his performances have only become sharper, and his dominance continues to grow. The conversation then shifted to the difficulty of finding someone who can even compete with him right now. Anik admitted he has a tough time thinking of anyone who could beat Merab at this point. He's firing on all cylinders, both mentally and physically. Each victory boosts his momentum, making him not only harder to beat but also more influential in the sport. His popularity is skyrocketing, his power within the UFC is expanding, and his legacy is being built one fight at a time. For Anik, this isn't just hype, it's the reality of what Merab has achieved and where he stands today. He's not just another fighter in the bantamweight division, he's a star, a champion in the making, and arguably the most influential active fighter representing America right now. Moving on to another news, the drama between Sean Strickland and Derek Moneyberg has taken a major turn, with Moneyberg officially deciding to take legal action. This all comes after Sean confronted Derek last week, publicly accusing him of being a scammer and even going as far as saying he paid his way to becoming a black belt in jiu-jitsu. The back and forth quickly escalated when Derek posted a lengthy statement on his Instagram, saying he had never met someone so insecure as Sean appears to be. He insisted he has been nothing but respectful and gentlemanlike, yet Sean has continued to spread lies and false information about him and his business. According to Derek, he gave Sean multiple chances to stop and apologize, but since that never happened, the matter will now be settled in court, where Sean will be forced to reimburse him for damages. Sean fired back, and in typical Strickland fashion, he didn't hold back. He said once the lawsuit moves forward, he will bring in Jake Shields along with others who were present during conversations. Sean claimed Jake openly admitted in front of a group of people that Derek paid him over $500,000, and that's how Sean first even learned who Derek was. Sean insisted that multiple fighters who were allegedly paid by Derek to push his program had also sent him Derek's page. With that, Sean challenged Derek directly, pointing out that he is in Vegas often and should just roll through, sign a waiver, and handle it on the mats. He doubled down, saying Jake made those comments in front of at least 10 people, and gym footage could easily back it up. Derek didn't hold back in his response either. He said he tried countless times to handle things respectfully and privately, but Sean is simply pretending to be someone he isn't in front of the public. Derek explained that after dealing with him face-to-face, his opinion is that Sean is not the man he tries to portray. He accused Sean of spreading damaging lies purely to hurt his reputation and business, but insisted he has zero fear of depositions and that the facts will prove him right. Derek ended by making it clear that he won't personally communicate with Sean again and that everything will now go through his law firm. Then Jake shields himself, jumped into the fire. He clarified that when Sean asked him how much he was paid, he simply said Derek compensated him well for working with him, but that had nothing to do with the belt or legitimacy of his skills. Jake insisted he told Sean directly that Derek was good at jiu-jitsu, a good person, and someone worth training with. He said multiple witnesses could confirm this. Jake also pushed back, saying he has his own money, and their friendship was never about financial transactions. To close things out, he called out Sean for avoiding training with Derek in the first place, and added a stinging remark, claiming that Sean doesn't have a single real friend in the world, despite his fame, because he constantly starts conflicts for no reason. This feud has now spilled far beyond social media, with lawyers involved and court action looming. Moving on to another news, the MMA community has erupted in shock after Wanderlei Silva was brutally knocked out in a chaotic post-fight scene. Silva stepped into the boxing ring for his first professional boxing match, headlining Spaten Fight Night against Acelino Freitas. The fight itself reached its breaking point in the fourth round, where repeated illegal shots led the referee to disqualify Wanderlei. Tempers quickly flared, and an argument broke out between both teams inside the ring. What should have been a standard post-fight dispute escalated into an all-out brawl. During the chaos, a member of Freitas' team jumped into the ring and struck Wanderlei with a punch that left him shaken but still standing. Seconds later, the same man circled back, came from behind, and landed another shot that knocked Wanderlei out cold right in the middle of the ring. The shocking moment left the entire arena stunned. Reports claim Freitas' team was enraged by what they described as Wanderlei's repeated use of illegal headbutts, which ultimately caused his disqualification. But the violent retaliation from someone outside the fight was completely unexpected and unacceptable. The MMA community wasted no time reacting to the disturbing scene. Gene Silva simply posted, "What the?" showing just how unbelievable it all looked. Terrence McKinney added, "No way," echoing the disbelief many felt. Damon Martin, however, offered a sobering reminder. He recalled how Wanderlei himself once submitted a letter during the UFC antitrust lawsuit, where he admitted fearing that he had already suffered traumatic brain injury throughout his career and was noticing symptoms linked to TBI and CTA. Martin called it absolutely despicable that promoters would ever book him again in situations like this, pointing to how dangerous it is for a fighter with that history to be put in harm's way once more. Brian Campbell called the event pure insanity, saying it never should have been sanctioned in the first place. He also pointed out the tragic irony that out of all the people involved in the melee, it was the trained veteran fighter who ended up unconscious on the canvas. Many voices across social media called for the man who sucker-punched Wanderlei to be arrested. However, with the fight taking place in Brazil, critics expressed skepticism that justice would ever be served. Some labeled the event as proof that many smaller fight promotions are unprofessional and poorly regulated, with fighters' health and safety often disregarded. One commentator said the attack was a blatant sucker punch to the back of the head, describing it as one of the dirtiest and most cowardly acts they had seen in combat sports. Adam Martin summed up the moment with, "Oh my god, this is insane." Wanderlei Silva brutally KO'd in a post-fight brawl. Aaron Bronstetter added, "What the hell kind of event was this? This should never have happened." Across the MMA world, the consensus is clear. The incident was disgraceful, a black eye for combat sports, and something that never should have been allowed to happen under any circumstances. That's it from MMA Pulse News. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.